Before today's video starts, I want each and every single one of you to scroll down below and comment and guess exactly how much we spent in today's video. I'm going to reveal the amount at the end of today's video, but for now, go down below and guess. And while you're at it, you guys might as well hit the subscribe button because we are so close to 5,000 subscribers. So you watching this right now, if you aren't subscribed, scroll down below and hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 5,000 as soon as possible. Okay, so getting into today's video, the car is a little bit dirty, so please just go ahead and ignore that. I didn't have time to go and clean the car just before this video, so I'm quickly going ahead and recording this and going over every single modification that I have on this car and exactly how much it costs and how much you guys should expect to pay if you guys want something similar like this. Now, this angle right here is one of my favorite angles of the car. I love just looking at the side profile. The only thing that pisses me off about this angle right over here is that the car doesn't sit all the way to the ground. And the reason why the car doesn't sit all the way to the ground is because of the fitment on these wheels. Now, these wheels I absolutely love, and I get questioned on these wheels all the time on what these are. These right here are Wedssport SA10-Rs. Now, I picked these up used from Facebook Marketplace for $1,000, which was an absolutely amazing deal. Trying to find these all four for under $1,000 is definitely hard to do, and I'm super happy that we went ahead and picked these up. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, the car is also sitting on some air suspension. I have an Airtekk air suspension kit that is on the car, and that full kit cost me $3,400. Now, there's a couple additional components that I went ahead and put onto the car as well for this type of stance, but I'll get into that a bit later. Moving on to the rear end of the car, these taillights right over here are the VLAN sequential taillights, and the specific colorway on these are the red and clear, and I picked these up for $370, and it's also kind of a bit custom and tailored towards my car because, as you guys can see, these aren't the normal red and clear. I went ahead and tinted the middle of the car like a black smoke on this side, and then also on this side right over here, which cost me $60. And I think it looks great. I think it definitely matches the rest of the black on the car, and I do think it looks really good. So the taillights were $370, and then the tint was $60. Also on the rear end, I'm not a fan of big spoilers on stock cars, so we have a Legsport Duckbill, which costed me around $270. And I think it looks pretty sick, and I definitely do think it matches the stock body look on this car. One thing that I absolutely love about this Duckbill is that it matches the body line literally perfectly. So you guys are gonna see this line down here, and then it just goes straight into the trunk, which I think looks amazing. And then on the rear end of the car, this was done not too long ago. I think it was literally 2 videos ago. We went ahead and installed a diffuser onto the car. Now, this diffuser I had for years, but it was faded and it looked really ugly. So we went ahead and restored it in this video that is on the screen right now. And I believe the stock bill was around $110. You might not be able to see it so well in the daytime, but it's definitely prominent in the nighttime. And I think it adds to the back end of the car really nicely. But that fourth brake light right there was $150, and I picked it off Amazon. And then we also have a TRD plate on the back. It came with 2, but I'm only running 1 plate on my car. And that also, I believe, was from Amazon, and it was around $50. And then also on the rear end, we have the exhaust. So on this angle, you guys are going to be able to see that there's 2 blue burnt tips. And because this is all a custom job, both of those tips cost me $60 each, so $120 in total. And the exhaust setup that I'm running on the car, here's a clip of how it sounds. So the exhaust setup is a muffler delete, and then we also have a secondary cat delete, which was $80. And then underneath the hood, we have Borla V2 headers, which I didn't pay for because it came with this car, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a value on it. It's probably around the $700 to $800 mark. Full price of the exhaust I'll have on the screen right over here because I probably can't do that on my head, but this is how much I spent on the exhaust on this car. We also have an HIC rear window visor right over here, as you guys can see, and I get questions about this all the time. This was $100, and I think it makes the back end just look a bit more aggressive. I don't know, when I see an FRS BRZ in 86 without one, to me it just looks very plain, and having this right over here just makes the build look a lot better. Now back to the side profile of this car, we have some S-style side skirts. These aren't very common in Canada, and actually was a bit of a struggle to go ahead and order these, but I finally found somebody who was able to get me them, and I paid $270 for these side skirts. Now these side skirts right over here also have a bit of a two-tone look going on. We have the red, and then we left the bottom black because I think that would match the black on the whole entire car. So I think it looks pretty sick. I wanted to be a little bit different. That's why I went ahead and picked up these side skirts instead of the typical TRD that you'll see on a bunch of FRS BRZ and 86s. Now, another part of the car right over here are the front fenders. Now, these are Sabon carbon fiber vented fenders, which also poke out an additional 10 millimeters. Now, on camera, that's very hard to tell, but in person, if it's parked beside another FRS, you're gonna see that the front is a little bit wider than normal. Again, very small because only 10 millimeters, but it looks pretty sick, especially with this vent right over here, which is carbon fiber. When we went ahead and picked up the fenders, they were fully in carbon. Then we decided to go ahead and wrap this fender and leave this part right over here exposed. Now, I think that looks a lot better than having two different colors clashing in the front end of the car. And this part right over here is also PPF'd, so it protects us from damaging the car or anything like that. Now, the front end of the car, the thing that's most prominent are these headlights right over here. These right here are VLAN headlights, and I was able to find these for $300 used. I bought these off of Facebook Marketplace. You can find them from $450 to $500 new on the VLAN website or Amazon. I definitely do think these are one of the nicest headlights for this gen, and it just makes the car look so much more aggressive than it was stock, and I absolutely love these. These are also sequential, so you guys will see the turn signal. The turn signal is also a sequential one, and I made sure that the bottom doesn't flash and the top does. I think that looks a lot cleaner. If you go ahead and install these normally, both of them will flash, which kind of looks a little weird. Talking about these fog lights right over here, these fog lights, I was able to buy them off Amazon for 25 bucks, and they perfectly match the boomerang in the front to make the front end look a lot more clean. And then we also have in the front a front lip. This is an ST style front lip, and I believe this is around 180 bucks, and I picked this up locally, but you can definitely find it on eBay. It's something that's pretty thin and not too crazy. Because I'm on air, it's a little harder to run a bit of a thicker lip. And I definitely do think the glossiness matches the rest of the build pretty nicely. And on the inside of the car, we went ahead and wrapped the interior trim in Alcantara, and then we have an iDoing head unit right over here. I don't know the price, so I'll have it on the screen right now. It's absolutely amazing, and I love having CarPlay in this car. Now, this steering wheel is a flat bottom carbon fiber steering wheel, which looks absolutely sick, and I love driving this car just because of the steering wheel. It feels so much better than OEM, and just these grips right over here honestly feels amazing. Just ignore all the Christmas tree lights that's going on over there. We won't even get into that. But the steering wheel right over here, I believe was around $550. And then throughout the interior of the car, you guys are gonna see carbon fiber everywhere, like this carbon fiber door handle. We also have a carbon fiber shift boot trim piece. I also upgraded a lot of the interior to OEM black pieces. So some of the FRS BRZs and 86s came with interior trim, which was black. And right over here, as you guys can see, we changed this. This used to be silver. We also changed the button right over here to black. I'm gonna say everything of these small little things was probably around 150 bucks. I also have a 450 piece Starlight headliner kit. This is how it looks, and this was the process of us going ahead and installing it. It's something that I always get complimented on here and there. Whenever I'm at car meets or car shows, people always love to look inside the car and stare at the Starlights. I 100% love this mod, and 100% love the idea of this mod. This right here is the 450 piece set, and I believe this was around $300 to $400. Then with the rear suspension, for it to sit like this, we have some stanced V2 control arms in the rear end of the car, which cost me $1,000. We also have some tow arms, which is $200 each, so $400 in total. And then in the fronts, because the whole entire fitment of this car is a bit confusing, we also have some extended studs, which is around 60 bucks a piece. So 60 for that side, 60 for the other side. And then the wheels are also paired with some Kentucky lug nuts, which is around 120 bucks for all of the wheels. The car is also wrapped in 3M's Hot Rod Red, so the wrap and the PPF itself cost me the same amount as the bags. It cost me $3,400. Now, the PPF is only on the front fenders right over there. The rest of the car isn't PPF'd, but again, that's pretty much how much a wrap is going for nowadays. $3,400 with some PPF in the front. It's not bad of a price. I did a pretty good job wrapping the car. So the total amount that we have spent on modifying the FRS is right here. It is on the screen. It is $15,475. This amount right here does not include the tires that we went ahead and put on earlier this year, and it also doesn't include the tune on the car. So the tune is something that the previous owner did, and I'm gonna value it around $500. It's just some sort of aggressive pop tune that is on the car, which is gonna change a couple of videos down the line. That plus the tires that I paid $600-700 for. But for those two things, let's just add $1,000 to the total, and our new total is now $16,475, which is absolutely crazy because I literally could have bought a different FRS for that same amount of money, but we went ahead and put it into this car, and I think it looks sick. I still think there's a lot more that we can do to the car that we are going to do, and we're definitely going to be pouring more money into this build. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys liked today's video at all, please hit this video with a like. That tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job making videos. And also, while you're at it, scroll down below and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.